All right, so we talked about end products briefly. So I made a Poplet. And a Poplet is just another collaborative space that students can work in. And as you're collaborating with your journey partner, you can also use this to kind of outline a unit plan. So it's kind of like a storyboard too. Um, the only thing I don't like about Poplet is that if it gets so big and you want to print it like as a PDF, everything looks really small. You can't really read it. But what we can do here is we're going to zoom in, okay, by either using that or um, I think you can zoom in that way. Nope. But just clicking the zoom button here. Um, so we go with flip learning. So um, I colored the Poplets red if that is a pathway you've chosen. So in the first video, I talked about how when you're deciding to flip your classroom, it's usually a 4-year plan, right? Year 1, typically you create the on-demand catalog of videos. Make sure that you can see it here. Okay. Year 2, provide students with opportunities to move through the curriculum at their own at their own pace, assessing as they move on. Third year, give students teacher-created projects. And then year 4, as I mentioned previously, you let them create their own projects. So what you would be doing now, if you decide to choose this pathway, is just making videos, just an on-demand archive of videos. You might have some videos set up from remote learning from the previous years, so that's great. You kind of already have something to build off of, so you can either work backwards from that or you can work forwards, whichever way you want to go, or you can start at the beginning. If you want to start with a school year having a catalog of on-demand videos. With this pathway, just doing year 1, you're not changing your approach to teaching at all. All you're doing is you're kind of setting yourself up for year 2 of how you're going to change your classroom. So for year 1, classroom doesn't change. The way you teach doesn't change. You're just kind of on the side making those catalog of videos as you teach a lesson. So, if you go through your lesson plans for the week and you're working on this one skill, you can create a video of that skill so that you can use it next year, and then you keep teaching as normal. So that would be one pathway towards an end product you can have, is just have some videos created with the 10 hours of classwork. Another one is to develop a flipped learning unit plan. So this is just taking one unit, not the whole course. This is just taking one unit and breaking down those skills and starting with that list of skills. And then from there, you break that down into individual lessons. So lessons can then include, warm-ups, videos, or, individual partner practice. And then what you want to do is find a way to share that unit with your kids. So avenues that you can do that is through Google Classroom, right? So what I've done in mine is I've labeled it, lesson 37, understanding quartiles. And so they know that there's typically a warm-up. I like to put the lesson objective in there as warm-up and a practice. Another tool you can use is deck toys. So this is a 5th grade properties of matter review. And what's nice about deck toys is that if you create your units in here, you can include videos, like a matter video. And one great part about this is you can actually stop the students from moving forward. They won't be able to move forward until you let them with your account. So it's almost like, you have the teacher access. So they have to ask you if they can move forward, and then you can, unlock it for them, which is really cool, especially if you want to make sure that they are watching the videos. Deck Toys also breaks down so you can ask questions, like check for understanding questions. It has exit tickets. So I'll try, and you can either go to deck.toys or I'll try and make an example video of how it works. Another thing you can do is create your own website. So I made my own website. Each one, I break down the lesson into review, notes, practice, and everything's right on that web page. So that's just another example of creating your own website. You can also use Google Sites as well. There's just not as much flexibility, so I used my own website. I used WordPress to create my own website. Another avenue that I have a template for you is just a document with links. And I actually do this one anyway, no matter what avenue I choose to show the students my unit, because let's zoom in a little bit here. With this document, it allows students to check off what they've done, which is especially great when there's Christmas break, Thanksgiving break, any type of time of like extended break where they come back to school and they don't remember where they're at. So they can either look in their goal calendar or their tracking sheet. So I always give this to students at the beginning of the year, along with a welcome letter. The next pathway is to just develop some flipped lessons. So this is a kind of a hybrid of the two. So you're just going to start with one skill and make a video of that skill. Okay, so create the lesson for the skill. Then you're going to match the lesson with some formative assignment. It could be a project or textbook practice if you want. You can include blended learning sites like iExcel or Xerin or Kahoot. And then if you still have time within those 10 hours, you can move on to another skill. So you can do that, and eventually, if you keep doing this avenue, you'll get through a whole unit. And that kind of brings you back to the middle, just developing a unit. So most people, they want to try and dip their toes in, so they'll go for this middle option here, which is to just create a unit, which is great. The problem is that if you decide to do a unit, if you think that it's working really well, you kind of want to keep going. And you can get into kind of a time crunch because as you keep going, you're taking year one and you have to create all of those videos. You can set all of this up as you go along throughout the year. So it's a lot of front loading during the year, as opposed to taking the year and just making videos and then kind of slowly going through the process. Given that we have this ambiguous time where we might have students like not every day, it might be nice to try to do a unit, see as much as you can get done in the 10 hours you have, and then let students try to move at their own pace, and you get to reclaim the class time that you do get to see them, because that face-to-face time is now limited. So that's up to you what kind of path you want to choose. And if you decide that this kind of either isn't for you or you want your pathway to be just research-based, then you can do that. You can research some ways for, flipping a kindergarten classroom or flipping, elementary music. Those are definitely some tough ones to flip. So if you want to just spend those 10 hours doing research, you can do that too. Okay, so there's a bunch of different end products for wherever you're at and whatever you need. These are just ones for you to think about. Okay, and if you have another end product that you want, just let me know ahead of time. We'll try and map out 10 hours. All right, that's Poplet.